The most important thing that we want our congregation to know, and it's part of our confession and our doctrinal standards, is that we put a strong emphasis on the hope of Christ's return. Mm-hmm. And you have to believe in the actual bodily return of Christ, where all things will be new. Now, whatever happens between now and that time, we can discuss that with graciousness and kindness. But I've spent a lot of time, I spent a lot of time in the dispensational, went to dispensational seminary, was well-trained there, and have had to wrestle with this. And the conclusion that I come to is that if you look at your biblical theology, which it starts in the Old Testament, they longed for a land, and it wasn't Israel, folks. They longed for a land beyond 11, it. Man. That's right. And Hebrews tells us this. So your biblical theology, as you're walking through the story, you're realizing that the fallen creation and those who were under the teaching of God and his prophets had a proper view of a new heavens and a new earth being in restoration with the king.
That's right.
Right. And we would have all made the same mistake, but when the Messiah showed up, they tried to usher him now. Like they took it physical. Right. Thankfully, the apostles came in and clarified that for us.
Right.
But the entire story is one of restoration with the king, done by the king for the glory of the king.
And God effectively re-presencing himself with his people in the aftermath of the fall.
Right.
And Adam and Eve being expelled from the Garden of Eden. I mean, that is the goal of the Lord, that he would be with his people and we would be with him. And it's going to be accomplished through the work of God the Son in our place. I think an observation to be made here too is that you mentioned biblical theology. Our eschatological views should be derived from those much more significant upstream convictions regarding biblical theology. Whereas sadly, I think for many people, this is especially true in dispensationalism, the tail wags the dog. The eschatological view drives pretty much every other area of doctrine.